Facebook up.
All right. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Season 2, Whiskey Thursday. We're really excited tonight because Shane Hillier and I have a special guest, Angel Martinez. Angel, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's up? Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm excited to dive into some stuff here with you guys. It's been cool watching some of the other ones, some of the other Whiskey Thursdays. So definitely excited to be here with you guys.
Are you sure we're live?
We are live.
Are you sure?
Are you?
I can't bring it up.
Yeah,
So-
I see people watching. It's been
Oh,
live.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
I
There
know.
we go. It just came
Facebook's
up.
got that weird delay, but I think we're good.
We're
I
all
see.
good.
I see it over here too.
Yeah.
We're good.
You got another rig back there. What do you got? A gaming computer set up in the back where you're playing when you're not working?
That's my real setup over there. Yeah, this is
Okay.
my laptop right here. Yeah.
Okay, so you got the laptop, then you got the gaming setup,
Yeah.
and you got the real work setup.
Matt's getting all hot and horny over there.
I know, right? I
Tell me the gaming setup.
gaming
Yeah,
setup
dude, yeah.
here, gaming setup here. This one is set up. So,
Same setup as you, man. We've got the same color purple over there.
right? Oh, man.
I like purple, man. It's cool.
Well, listen, while Matt goes ahead.
Luke Shankulis says we're not live, by the way. He says
we're not? Oh, shit. We got to fix things. Luke, thanks so much for letting us know.
oh, man.
Appreciate you showing up, Luke. Thanks. This will be fun. He's going to come here and he's going to show up at the end like he always does, right? Looking for
Trooper. At
For
the
free
end.
stuff.
No freebies for you, Luke. No freebies.
All right, let me get this chat spam going. We'll get everything going. If you guys are here live, watching live, or comment down below, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay down below. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know where you heard about us. How do you find us? And what's up? We'll do that.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Well, like Matt said, welcome to another episode here of Whiskey Thursday. Angel Martinez is with us tonight. This is going to be awesome. You're not too many people know who you are,
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sort of when you and I first met, when both Matt and I first met you,
Yeah.
we were kind of shocked at who you were, right? And,
Yeah, totally.
And you jumped into to the program. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, a lot of people know your work. They didn't know who you were.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no, man, that's true, man. Like, I totally agree, man. Like, I don't think, I definitely not very known, like, out there as far as, like, Facebook ads for real estate or nothing like that.
Right.
Even though I put out a lot of content, but I don't, as for marketers, I don't think, it's definitely not well
Well,
known
we're going to
or anything like
reveal
that,
who
but-
you are tonight.
I know,
So
right?
we're going to talk about what you've done in the past and what you're
Sure.
currently doing now. And so I'm really excited to have you on the show tonight. In fact, again, like I said, I don't know why you joined the Academy in the first place. You've been marketing for the past 4 years. You've been working almost exclusively with real estate agents. You've trained over 200 real estate agents, which is amazing. And so, I personally, I'm honored that you joined the Academy.
Yeah.
It was really cool that you jumped into the program.
But that brings up a good question. Why did you join
Yeah.
the program?
Why did
Yeah,
you
for
join
sure,
it?
man. Let's talk about that. So, I was part of another group before, and I always knew of you guys. Like, and not always. Like, I learned about you guys maybe towards, like, I don't know, like the last few months of me being in that other group, and I always, it was funny.
Oh, were
like,
they talking about us?
Well, so even because that was, we were building something over there, right? And it was funny because, like, you guys, I knew of you guys, and I was in the group, in the free group, and you guys were our competition, and and so, like, I knew you guys were doing, dude. I've always known the conversion side of it, like that was the component that we were missing over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, these guys are doing the conversion side of it. We're not doing the conversion side. We're not even touching that side of the conversion, follow up, all that stuff, right? And it's always been an issue with clients. Like, we can do the lead gen. The lead gen is pretty easy, but it was always, every marketer will always run into the issue of, if you don't have that system set up, like, you'll always run into the issue of your clients not doing their follow-up, and so that was really, I knew you guys were diving into that side of the whole, lead gen and, real estate marketing. And I had no clue on how to do any of that stuff. So that was really, and I wanted to be part of your guys' group, man. Like I was already following the group for the free group, you know,
Yep.
for a while, and watching the Whiskey Thursdays and seeing what you guys were doing. And when I left that group,
We're way cooler than the other guys.
dude, hands down, man. You guys got the full setup, man. Like the full system. You guys have it all figured out. So
we're
it's
so
like,
much more fun. Come on, get to come on Whiskey Thursday and hang out, and
Right?
a couple of drinks.
just the Whiskey Thursdays alone, man. That's it.
Speaking of which, what are we drinking tonight?
I've got my normal, poppin' rum, and yeah.
I got a. What's that?
I was gonna say I am drinking water, man. Honestly, it's
All
like,
right, stay hydrated. We like it.
man.
You gotta do it. Some of us gotta get up in the morning.
Well, I'm still going from yesterday.
Is that what it is? Canada Day.
That's right.
Canada, is it a party day? Is it a big day?
Canada Day? Yeah, it's a huge party. Just not when, the lockdown is going on. You know what's really interesting, though? This is really, like, I've never seen. So we went out last night, and so everything's shut down, right? Usually there's big parties all over the place, and you go to City Hall, you go downtown or whatever, go watch the fireworks, and there's concerts and things like that going on. Last night is just a bunch of virtual concerts. Right? Like, who wants to watch that? But what I've never seen before, so we went out, we went for a drive, and my wife's like, let's go to the park. I'm sure people, set off fireworks. I'm like, nobody's going to go out. Like, come on, right? So we went, and it was like maybe 9 o'clock or so we went out. And we get there, and it's dead, but it wasn't dark yet, right? It was dead. So we drive around the neighborhood a little bit, and every once in a while you can see a Roman candle go off or something. Like, this is boring stuff. And all of a sudden we start seeing fireworks, right, in people's backyards going off. And so we said, okay, let's go to the park. We'll just stop at the park and sit there. And all of a sudden, as soon as it got dark, is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Every single house, like these huge fireworks from their backyards, right? And it was like, there'd be like 6 or 7 houses. We're in the park and they're right around us. All the houses had 6 or 7 houses had fireworks going off. They died down. Then there'd be another 6 houses with fireworks. It was wild. I'd never seen anything like it.
That's
pretty
crazy.
Cool stuff. Yeah. So
and that's on Canada Day.
That's on Canada Day. Yeah.
On Canada Day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huh.
Well, and I'm drinking.
Go ahead.
I was
going to invite you to Canada. The next
You're gonna invite me to Canada?
For Canada Day, it's a pretty like in Ottawa a couple of years ago, they had over 250,000 people downtown. So it's
damn.
You aren't allowed in Canada right now, right? You're not allowed to
No, there's nothing going on.
What's that?
There's nothing going on.
Oh, I thought you guys were still in a countrywide lockdown.
Yeah. There's nothing. That's what I mean. There's nothing going on.
Oh yeah, so I couldn't come over there even if I want because there's
no. You're not allowed to cross the border.
Right, because we talked about this. There's some good cart tracks not far from you that I could bring the carts up. We can have a good time. But in Canada, or thinking COVID,
Canada,
whatever you want to say.
Can't
But
go
yeah,
outside.
so tonight I got the tasting set from I think it's Glenmorangie or Glenmorangie, whatever. I forget. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
that's going to last you 5 minutes.
yeah. Well, no, there's 4 of those. So
okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're pretty good. Starts with their well, I started with their top end bottle, and I'll work my way down because I won't care as I get to the end. So might as well start with the good stuff. So,
anyways, let's go ahead, guys. If you're watching live, hashtag live, right? If we're watching replay, hashtag replay. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout out here.
It's so quiet. It's so quiet.
I know. It's day after Canada Day. Everybody's
everybody's hungover.
But yeah, listen. Let's. I want to. Like I said earlier,
we got to shout them out. The people that are here.
We're here. Oh, there we go. Peter's here. I know Luke is here as well. What's going on? Ahmad is here. I can see Thomas Douglas, and that's about it watching. So, but yeah. So, just for let's tell people where you're your background here, Angel. Angel, let's tell people a little bit about your background, what you've done, and then I want to dig into what you're doing now, what's working. You've got an interesting acquisition style. We'll talk a little bit about, actually, I think we're going to talk a lot about chatbots, how you're utilizing chatbots, because that's a big thing for you right now, where you're primarily using chatbots to nurture, convert your, and intake your leads.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be really interesting for people that are watching. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Academy, what's coming down the pipe, and what we're changing inside of the Academy.
Some exciting stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So lots of stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. So for everybody that's watching that doesn't know who Angel is, because I had no clue who he was until he joined the academy. Angel, tell us a little bit about what you've done before, where you're coming from, and what your background is. And go ahead, you can and talk about the training that you've done.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, I mean, if we take it all the way back, so I'll take it all the way back to kind of the beginning
Might
of
as well.
how it all, yeah, of how it all started, man. Because it was a long journey. I really didn't start taking off until like year 2, into like trying to figure this all out. Year 1 and like 1.5 was really tough, man. Like it was hard. Like I knew I wanted to do this. Everybody, I took that, the Ty Lopez social media course. I feel like everybody kind of entered into social media marketing through his course, because he was one of the first ones that was marketing, social media, build your agency, things like that. And so I took his course, man, and I really felt like it was going to be easy. Like I was like, man, it started with my wife. So my wife, we were doing a lot of direct sales companies, MLMs, things like that. And I did a whole bunch of them. I tried a whole bunch and I made some money here and there. But ultimately it was just like getting myself more and more into debt and trying to really make it happen. At the time my wife was pregnant. So that was really what sparked, I got to get out of the job. I got to get out of the 9-to-5 job. And I wanted to do something bigger for my family. And she was pregnant with our first child. And so from there, man, I was taking the Ty Lopez course, and out of nowhere, just randomly, my real estate agent called me, and he was just checking in, just doing his thing, just checking in to see how I was with the new house. We had just bought a new house, and checking in, and he was like, what are you up to? And I mentioned social media marketing, and I'm trying to learn.
Wait. This is your real estate agent after you've had a transaction. They're out to you?
Yeah, I know, right?
They called you after the closing.
After the closing, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So he was checking in. And so yeah, man, I mentioned social media marketing. He was like, oh, like I'm actually, thinking about expanding my business into, and using social media, within my business. And so at that time I was charging them. I was doing like all kinds of stuff, man. I did everything. Like I did everything from paid advertising to organic marketing, content marketing. Since he was local to me, I was able to pick up a camera. I had a camera from when we were working with my wife, because I was doing a lot of social media marketing for my wife. Right, I kind of skipped that part.
What does she do?
So at the time it was a direct sales company, and we're selling, it's funny. We're selling women's clothing. It was a women's clothing, MLM. And that was kind of what really sparked my interest in social media, because everything, all of the stuff that we sold, and we did pretty well with that one because we did it together. And we sold everything through social media. We'd do Facebook Lives. We had a group, kind of learned how to manage a group and run a group and keep the group active, and doing giveaways and things like that. And so that was really what sparked, like, oh man, I can do this for local businesses. Right. So kind of jump back forward to my real estate agent calling me. And so I did everything. Like I charged them. I think I was charging them $1,000, and I was doing paid advertising. We're spending $500 a month. I was going out shooting videos for him. I was going out taking pictures of like closings and new buyers, clients, everything to manage his Facebook and to manage his Instagram.
Yeah, you were managing more than just ads. It sounds like you were really doing a social media management.
For sure, yeah, social media management, paid advertising, right? And for $1,000.
Wow.
I started off, when I started, man, like I was doing everything super, super cheap. I remember when I was starting, I was running, I was managing clients. Like when I started doing more paid advertising, I was charging only like, $250 to run Facebook ads for clients and generate leads. And so I did everything like super cheap, man, like super cheap, and doing things for free. And I hit that first client. It was real estate, right? So when I started to had to figure out how to generate leads for real estate, dude, it was like I hit a freaking brick wall. Like real estate was a completely different different, like, ball game. It was like, man, I had to really learn real estate. I really had to learn buyers and sellers and, the market and what works to generate leads. For like the first year, I did not figure out at all how to generate leads. I was using landing page, trying to figure out how to do landing pages, spent a ton of money on a bunch of courses that, these gurus tell you they know how to, know how to do it for real estate. But then when you really break it down, like, man, they just give you some templated stuff and it doesn't work. Like none of it works,
It sounds like my experience.
I'm kind of curious which ones you were purchasing that were not working for real estate.
Well, they were all mostly just really general, like
Generic marketing.
Okay. Yeah, like they were doing everything. Like in their courses, they got dentists, they got chiropractors, they got funnels for all different types of niches.
Yeah, and one of the big things, like I feel it's a lot easier now because you can find the information all over the place, right? But you go back 3-4 years ago, I mean, this information wasn't available, right? Like nobody, and I remember like going through somebody's course, it's the same thing, right? It's like, hey, just here's the ad, here's the homes list ad, and find the medium price point, then build your landing page and capture your leads through the landing page. But nobody really talked about, okay, well, if it doesn't work, then you got to start focusing on your copy or change the pricing or change your images or try this or try that. It was just like, here's your ad, here's your landing page, put those together, it's gonna work.
Yep, exactly, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
They promise you, and I think the most expensive course that I've spent was $6,000, and that was the most, well, $6,000, and that one I've gotten another course for $6,000, but it was Sam Ovens, and his is actually worth it. The other $6,000 one, man, it was crap, dude. Like I was so disappointed because that was my last, dude. Like I literally cried on the damn sales call. Like I was crying to the dude. Not like bawling crying, but like you can totally tell I was crying. It was my last, like my last credit card, like that I had credit on my credit card, and it was $6,000. And I was like, and my thought process, I was desperate, man. Like I did not have it down for real estate, yet I had a real estate client paying me $1,000, even though, technically it's still a lot of money. Like he's still paying me. It's still a lot of money. And yeah, even though I was helping him out with photo and video and all this other stuff, the paid side of it, I had no idea what I was doing.
You paid $6,000. What, for a course? For
for
coaching?
No, just a course, man. Like just a course. So my thought process was
a known course that's not good, or what?
What's that?
Now, I said, is the course kind of known for not being good now, or was it really good and it just didn't work?
I don't follow the that group anymore. I jumped out of that group honestly, and I don't see his ads anymore. It was his name is, I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say anything.
Shoot it to me in Messenger. I'm gonna look that up while we're talking.
I do know.
I want to know.
I do know his name, but I don't
shoot it to me in Messenger because I want to know.
I'll let you know for sure. But I jumped out of that, man, and I was freaking just crushed, man. Like that was it for me. I didn't have any more money. I was still kind of generating, the $1,000 from that client. I was working on the weekends at the hospital. So slowly I was kind of moving away from like a, full-time job and making my way to making some money with everything that I was trying to do with Facebook ads and all that stuff, social media marketing. But yeah, man, so that was the last monies that I had, and it let me down. And so I ended up spending, I was still making some money, right? So I ended up buying another course that was definitely, it was specifically for real estate. And through that course, that one was more, it was definitely more designed for real estate, but at the same time,
for agents or marketers?
For agents. Yeah. For agents. And dude, like when I tell you guys, like your guys' course, like nobody else's course even touches your guys', like yours is legit. It's things that really work, especially now to where I'm at now and the experience that I've been able to accumulate over the years. Like going back and that course is just garbage, man, because it was the same thing, templated stuff, driving traffic to landing pages, nothing that really worked. And I was struggling, man, when I was still did not have it figured out. I was being taught, driving traffic to landing pages. That was not working. And at that time, messenger bots came around. And
well, and let's
I was also, oh, go ahead. What was it?
say let's cover. I mean, landing pages do work.
Yeah, totally.
It's a different art. It's not
Totally.
simple like lead forms, and I think that a lot of people try to make it simple like lead forms.
Totally.
And like, unless you have a really good reason to do name, email, phone number on a landing page, it's almost never a good idea. Like I have a client, they have a large CRM, and so they need to show their clients landing pages on their platform, right? And so we run landing pages, but that's the only person I run landing pages for. They have to, right? Because otherwise, how bad does that look on a platform if they're not running landing pages on their platform, like they're running lead forms?
Yep.
Not necessarily bad, but some people could take it that way, right? And so they want to do that for,
Yeah, there's always that, that argument of like, oh, landing pages produce, higher quality leads and versus lead form and, all that stuff, man. And so, but for me though, I was already overwhelmed. Like I had to learn,
right.
Copywriting. I had to learn how to convert, leads and how to get people to give me their information. And, I was definitely like all up in the ClickFunnels group, and, in there they talk about like design and, the color of the button matters. And I'm like, there's no way that I can figure this out. Like there's no way. And especially, I'm spending this money, I'm spending the client's money and all just to try and figure out, like I'd waste a ton of money,
Well, they were paying you $1,000 a month. Was that your fee or was that the total you were collecting in revenue?
That was the total. Yeah, that was the total.
Oh, gosh.
Or no, I mean not including the ad spend. Yeah,
okay,
if that's what you mean.
Yeah,
that was just like my fee. Yeah, because I mean, that was just the fee, not the ad spend. The ad spend we were spending like 500, I think, at the time, and so yeah, man. So for me, I was just like, I cannot do landing pages. I cannot I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know design. I don't know none of that stuff. And
the worst thing about it too, this is one of the things I hate about landing pages, especially if you're in like the ClickFunnels group or whatever, right? And I remember, because I used to build a lot of landing pages for real estate agents. So I'd build one up and then be like, oh, this looks pretty good. And then I end up in the ClickFunnels group and somebody else is showing off their landing page. I'm like, oh my God, mine looks like shit now. I'm like, I gotta redo this. I'm gonna spend another 3 hours on it, trying to fix it up, move some things around.
There's always the part about landing pages where sometimes pretty doesn't matter. Like sometimes the landing page that converts.
Well, that's the thing,
like
right?
Somebody wrote it in MS-DOS and you're like, what? And like millennials right now, other than a few of us, are like, MS what?
Well, it's funny because one of the things I started doing with my landing pages, like when I was still testing landing pages against lead ads, is I made my landing pages look identical to the lead ads. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't look any different. They were identical, right? Same font, same position of the picture, same questions, same, the exact same thing. So the only thing is the lead forms are, 10 times faster. So
definitely, man.
Yeah.
So I was able to, and at the time too, there was the whole argument of that, like I mentioned, the landing pages versus lead form. And for me, lead forms were working. Like I started exploring lead forms and I was just doing single listing campaigns. And I was finally able to kind of like, I guess, crack the code on how to generate leads. And it was around that time when messenger bots started coming around. And I explored lead forms, but then what I was doing was I was using a lot of like down payment assistant programs or anything that I can put a call to action where I can say, click the button or click the learn more button to find out if you qualify, or to take our short 60-second quiz or survey or whatever it is to find out if you qualify. And that's what I was using messenger bots for. And to me, it just clicked, man. Like it clicked for me to be able to learn how to use messenger bots and use them in the campaign. So initially I was just driving traffic directly to the messenger bots and getting people to, it's funny. It's kind of cool to look back at like my old, like flows, like the bills that I did, and they're just like crap, like compared to like now. And so I was getting people to go through a survey. I was running people through a survey, getting them to answer questions like, what's your credit score? What time frame, your price range, are you a veteran, and or are you working with the realtor, things like that, right? So I was getting people to go through that, and I was getting a pretty it'd be hard to kind of go back and look at some of the old campaigns,
Right.
but I was getting people at the very end. My call to action, I was using Calendly, and at the very end, the call to action was to book an appointment. So I would use verbiage of like, based off the information, it looks like you may qualify. We don't want to bother you. That's kind of the copy that I use now. We don't want to bother you at an inconvenient time. It'll work best if we schedule a time and we can, go over to confirm the information that you gave us above. And I'd get people to book appointments, to book calls through Calendly. So at the very end, I'd drop that Calendly, and getting people to book appointments that way. So that was kind of like my main campaign that I was running, that I was having the most success with at the time. And then I started implementing the lead forms. And then at the very end, and you guys do this, at the very end, I was putting the chatbot link, the messenger ref URL at the very end, with a very similar call to action of like, so they would opt in for like a single listing campaign to, to view more information about that property. And then at the very end, it's like, hey, I would offer a down payment assistance program. So I don't remember the exact copy, but it would be something along the lines of like, currently you can qualify for $10,000 of down payment assistance. If you'd like to learn more and find out if you qualify, click the button below, right? So that was on the thank you page of the lead form. And that same process, man, like, so they would opt in with name, email, phone number, and then run them through a messenger bot of those questions. And those would always pan out where I would, where the client was able to get a hold of them. Some of the other ones, it was always tough to, they would always complain that they couldn't get a hold of them, or, things like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, things like that, the common responses that you get from leads, right? Mm-hmm. So that was around, that was kind of what, like, my breaking point, what really helped, and was messenger bots, man. And so then to me, I kind of started, creating different flows and using them. Like, I probably use them now with almost anything that I create. I always try to take them to Messenger, because I've always just found that people will always or not always, but they're more likely to respond. Like, I've always had really good response rates in my Messenger, subscribers, through Messenger, where they would at least respond, whether it's like F off, I don't want to talk to you, or say no, like, I don't care, say something, like that's good enough. Hey, all right, cool, we won't bother you. And then, you can always retarget them later with other stuff. And so to me, that was always like what I would always push for clients, was like, hey, they're not going to turn now, but we can retarget them with content and things like that, through other strategies. So
let me ask you something. Do you have a sample flow you can show us and kind of break that down?
Whoa.
Well, no, I'm not just.
What do you want to see?
Not for whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want to see?
No.
Just hang on, not right away, but
okay.
How many of you guys who are watching right now, are you currently using chatbots inside of your real estate marketing agency? Or if you're a real estate agent, are you currently using chatbots as an agent?
I'm really curious, man. I'm really curious, because so for me at that time, again, I had purchased that last course that I bought. You guys are the last course that I bought. But before that, so the other real estate course that I purchased, in that group was a lot of real estate agents. And it was really majority like real estate agents. There's probably only like 2-3 other marketers in there. And for me, what I really liked about messenger bots and using messenger bots in the campaigns, maybe not so much like it's tough to get like marketers, like if you're a marketer, to implement them, unless you really got to figure it out. But for real estate agents, it was super easy to teach it to them. It was really easy to teach them messenger bots, because they didn't have to figure out landing pages. They didn't have to figure out how to put together a lead form. Like all that stuff to them was like already too much. And simply just driving traffic to messenger, and then just, training them and teaching them that, hey, just, you have a direct channel. Like this is a direct channel to communicate with this person. You no longer have to worry about, is the phone number accurate, is an email accurate? Like this is them. You could send a message, craft a good message. Don't just say I hate it when agents, like when they say something like, hey, just wanted to reach out, and we'll end it off with like, they'll end it off with, if you have any questions, please call me. And then they'll drop their whole, business card information on there. It's like super spammy. I'm like, they'll never respond to you with that. Like,
They throw up a picture of the business card. Is that what they do?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, pretty much. And so I've had to, with clients, like I've had to, in the past, like you'll never get a response like that. Like it's super conversational. It's like if you're just texting somebody, it's just like super informal, type of conversation. Just ask them a question. They'll, end it off with a question, and at least try to elicit a response. Don't just end it off with like, if you have any questions, please let me know. Like, no, they're not gonna let you know. So it was, I really liked that concept of using messenger bots in those campaigns, because if again, at the time I was really coaching and training real estate agents, and so it was easy for them. Like it was easy for them to implement it into their campaigns, and with anything. I mean, hey, yeah, buyer's guide campaigns, seller's guide campaigns. Like I don't do those because I feel like those campaigns are played out. But if you want to, this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. Don't try to generate a name and an email and a phone number for a buyer's guide. Like they're not going to give you a phone number for a buyer's guide. Like what you're asking and what you're taking is it's imbalanced.
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing.
I haven't heard somebody say that yet. That it was imbalanced.
Yeah. Or do you know what I mean, or no?
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. But I haven't heard people refer to it that way.
Yeah, totally. Like it never made sense to me, buyer's guide campaigns. Like maybe a long time ago when this was like a new thing for people, it would have worked. Or maybe in markets where like nobody's running ads and nobody has ever ran ads before, maybe in those markets it'll still work. But for the most part, they're played out. And like, why should I give you my phone number for a buyer's guide? Like, for what? Are you gonna text it to me? Or like probably not. I don't know. To me, it never made sense. It never made sense to me. So for me, it was like something like that. I always kind of tell myself like, what you're asking for needs to match what you're giving them. Like if you really wanted to get people to give you their name, email, phone number, you got to give them something that they want. So to me, that always made sense. But yeah, man. So then in that other group, how I really started growing. So like in that second year, we launched.
Before we go there, we keep referencing this other group, right? Like we got this like.
Because I don't want to put the name out there
in the room.
I know, right?
So I mean,
it was another course, man. It was the other. Well, just like you guys, right?
It wasn't the $6,000 one.
Not a $6,000 one. It was another just $1,000 course.
But this is kind of like where people know you without knowing you, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So what can you tell us about all of that? What is the current situation? Why do people know you without knowing you?
So I got burned basically. I got burned pretty bad. It was definitely, a business mistake, along the way that you learn of like. One thing that I definitely learned from that is now with anybody that you work with, anybody where you're doing something together. I mean, this is totally for anybody out there, marketers, real estate agents. Well, I'm sure real estate agents got it down, but any marketer out there or any entrepreneur out there, it's like you have to have something written that's, you know, a contract or an email or something where you can go back and still protect yourself, like protect your content, protect whatever it is, right? Because
Mhm.
I didn't do that. Like I had too much trust into this other, I at the time I did consider him a mentor, you know, like he was the dude that ran this other group. He was the, you know, the other course guru, right? He was the other person selling this course.
Are we able to talk
Um,
about which program we're referring to?
it's called hyperlocal domination. Yeah. HLD for short, you know.
HL hyperlocal.
HLD. Yeah. And I was part of that group for probably a year and a half before I left. Or before I got kicked out, actually. I got completely blocked.
So for people
Okay, wait. I just looked this up. That's not really the name it's known under, is it?
no, it's not.
Is it?
No.
I think
Well,
so.
no, everybody,
You-
you know what?
If you Google it,
It should be.
Well, yeah, but that's not what people know him by.
No, yeah. He definitely is known as the Zilla killer, right? If anybody has heard about Zilla,
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
So just to be clear, so that everybody was watching, anybody inside of the academy too that doesn't know you, because you're part of the academy,
Mhm.
which is really cool. And again, I feel like people don't know.
There's a couple people in here. There's a few people in the free group, like quite a large amount of people in the free group that know me from over there.
Right.
And then there's a couple, like two or
But
three.
we have two trainers that, like, you're the primary trainer of the Zilla Killer, where you're essentially built the entire boot camp
So
course,
I can
right?
I can dive
So-
into that part of it all too. It's like, man, I got completely ripped from everything because I was like the guy in the back, you know. I was like the dude in the dark, just kind of putting all this stuff together. And then the Zilla Killer, he was like the face of everything, right? So for him, like, it was easy for him to just cut me out of everything, and nobody would ever question anything, like, and nobody did. Like, nobody really questioned anything. Everybody just went with his story of the thing, of how it all went down. And
Wait, so
some go ahead.
I'm just trying to catch up here because I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and I have talked slightly, but I'm like still putting everything together because like I feel like every time we talk, it's like I get a little more, I get a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so, okay, so you were building stuff for the Zillow Killer
Boot
program.
camp. Yeah, well, yeah. So okay, so
The boot camp.
the Zilla Killer boot camp was a secondary thing that outside of the hyperlocal domination course was like
But
the
this
main
was the
course.
program you were talking about, like being a part of and not understanding conversion.
Right. Yeah. It's,
Okay.
so when
And
when
so
when
we
it
were the
went down-
competition we didn't know about.
when it went down, like I straight up told him on the phone, and this is when things started going downhill. Like, I told him, like, straight up on the phone, like, your course is garbage. And he was furious, man. Like, he was pissed. Like, we had a crazy bad phone call, like, or bad conversation after I said that, because he was really just trying to just take advantage of me. Like, I brought up, so it'll jump forward. I'll get to that part. So okay, so I'm gonna rewind a little bit, because so he approached me with, hey, I want to create a boot camp. Do you have anything that we can teach them? And so I was like, hell yeah. Like, I didn't share any of my stuff in that group, like the things that I had learned, because I was always hesitant. Like, I was always hesitant of, if I provided, you know, stuff for that group, like, it was just gonna get taken from me. Like, it was just gonna get, like, I wasn't gonna get the, you know, credit for it, and he was gonna take the credit for it, because that's what he did. And I never shared anything about the messenger bots. Like, if people reached out and asked questions, I would answer those questions, but I never went into that group and said, like, hey, run these campaigns, run this, you know, lead form to messenger bot or directly to messenger bot, whatever. So he didn't really know about any of that stuff. And he was like, do you have anything we could teach them? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, I'm getting really good success right now with these messenger bots. I can put together this single listing campaign to messenger bot. We can teach them that one campaign. I can go over messenger bots, like, briefly, kind of give them an overview of what they need to know. And then we can teach them a JSON campaign where you run the ad from, like, directly from the ad directly to messenger, right? So that one's like the JSON campaign. So we had put together those two campaigns, and I basically put all that stuff together. So then it was a Monday through Friday boot camp, and it was every night we would go on for like 3 hours. And what was really cool, so I'll dive into some of the details about that, and then we'll go into like everything, like the whole fallout and everything. So like the details with the boot camp, it was real cool because we put a lot of people through that boot camp, and always real estate agents, and it was definitely a lot of like new real estate agents. Um, that were either just starting or they were trying to figure out Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
And what was cool at the very end of that, so we started collecting a lot of testimonials, because what we would do is I would give them the flow. So like that whole flow of like asking questions, everybody would always be like super, amazed by the campaign. And so at the very end of that,
for people who don't know what you're talking about, you give them the flow, right? Like,
oh, sorry,
you're not
yeah.
familiar with ManyChat, you're not familiar with chatbots, that might be like, what is this guy teaching people? Like, what is going on
So
here?
the flow is basically like,
worry.
yeah. So the flow is like basically the sequence of the message sequence that, that you put together inside of ManyChat, right? So it's like first response, and then, you click the button to answer the question. So yeah, it's a message sequence within ManyChat is.
Yeah, it's basically the campaign, if you're familiar with email marketing, right? It's
exactly.
email
Exactly.
campaign,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like we
exactly.
should show one of these here for some of our.
Yeah, go for it. Here, take
well,
it.
Yeah, so
hang on,
I'll actually show.
We don't give away stuff for free. I'm just thinking, like,
Well,
maybe we should do something at the near the end here if anybody wants to see these campaigns that Angel puts together. And
Okay, well, I gotta go blow my nose. So
I'll enjoy blowing your nose.
Yeah.
you figure out how we're gonna show this chat bot.
Blowing your nose, right? Is that what you're sure? That's what you're doing.
So you want me to show? Oh, go ahead. I can definitely show some of the flows that we would put together. So yeah, that was basically it, man. And so it was really cool because they were able to. What was cool is we had a volunteer that would build it for them during the boot camp, and so they were able to, by Thursday we had a campaign already active and going that it would start pumping leads. And so what was really cool is like the whole psychology of like, man, this really works. And then during the boot camp, it's like, okay, these guys aren't lying. Like I literally would tell them, like, this is literally what I'm doing in my business right now. Like, this is not something that's made up. This is not something that's old and I did a year ago. I'm doing this right now. And I'm still doing it. Like I'm still using those campaigns to run for clients. And
I love this idea, though, that sorry to interrupt, but what you had said earlier, which is, with the chatbots, it's really, really easy to teach them to do the follow-ups, right? And just to put the chatbots together.
Yep.
We've got a couple other guys that do some follow-up stuff with ISAs, and we've got like some like the done with you stuff that people sell, and everybody's always looking for something that's really easy to give to an agent so they can absorb it and they can actually be somewhat successful with it, right? Yeah. And you're right. Like building, lead forms are easy for us to build, but you tell an agent that they got to go in, they got to go to their business page, and they can't, they got to duplicate stuff, or they can't edit their forms, or if they screw something, like all this others, then they got to put privacy policies, blah, 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 all this other, and you got to ask these questions, and who knows if the lead quality is going to be any good or whatever, right? But with the messenger bots, really easy. Here's the flow.
That was the cool thing is that like I can literally.
Here's how you install it on your business
exactly.
page. Yeah, it's really, really simple. And then here's your follow up, right? Like this is perfect. You don't have to you just follow up through messengers. You don't have to do the phone calls. You don't have to do the emails. You just can go ahead and just have a conversation in Messenger.
I have a client right now completely just killing it. Like they now hired I'm pretty sure it's a family member, but they now hired somebody else to go in and follow up with the messages. Because at first the agent was doing it, and then they hired somebody to go in and follow up with those messages. But they're just completely killing it all through Messenger, and they're local to me here. But it's so true, man. Like it's an easier way to elicit some form of a response. Again, whether it's no, I'm not interested, or yes, that's the best you can hope for.
That's awesome.
is
Yeah.
some form of response.
So I noticed that there's a bunch of people here that met when we asked the question, who's using chatbots? And if you didn't answer, let us know if you're using chatbots or not. And I noticed some people that are inside of the Academy here. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing for the Academy. So just stay tuned for that. We got some big updates coming up for that. But so you basically were part of the Zillow killer and the whatever, what do you call the nomination thing? Blah, whatever.
Yeah.
What was his name? Jim something?
James. Yeah.
Jim something, right? So,
Yeah.
and to be honest, his sales skills are pretty good. Like, there was one point where I saw like a couple of his ads. I watched one of the, I don't know if he had a webinar or something. I'm like, maybe I'm going to buy this. So just check it out. Right. Anyways, so you went through that. You're one of you're one of the trainers. You essentially built the entire program for that. What's really interesting is inside the Academy, we had the other trainer that was part of that as well, who was Cheryl.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she was in there too, and same thing happened to her that happened to me. Yeah.
So she joined. She joined the Academy way before that, but I think she
so. Yeah.
She basically was one of the trainers there.
Speaking of which, we need to get Cheryl back on here another episode soon.
Yeah, absolutely. She definitely.
Cheryl, guys.
Hey, by the way,
Cheryl.
sorry, Matt. Hey, Matt. Really quickly, our audience went from like 25 watching down to 6, almost instantaneous.
Yeah, something's happening over here too with the live. So you might want to check to see. It just shut down over here.
Does it say broadcast has stopped for anyone else? And I'm seeing likes. Okay, that's strange.
Yeah, I thought it was because you were. I thought that's because you left. Everybody left.
Yeah, it shut down on me over here too.
Yeah, mine too is locked up now.
All right, 1 second here, guys. I guess I'm going to try and stop and restart it.
Sucks. All right.
Dang it.
That's okay. I can merge the two.
Are we, if we're live? Are we live?
We were, but I just took it down. So
okay.
Give it a second here. I'm going to try.
Yeah, you came back. You were fine.
Of course we did. Of course we did.
I don't know. Let's just shut it off.
Are we back? Are we live?
I don't know.
It's showing me that we're live.
It's showing that we're where?
Okay, if we are live right now, type a 7 in the chat. Let us know. We're currently live. It says we're live, but it said we were live a minute ago, and apparently we weren't. So let us know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
7! I see a 7!
Okay. All right, so we are good. We're good.
We are.
Matt disappears and everybody jumps off the live.
I know. I was like, man, am I that popular? Like, I walk out and people are like, we're done. Matt's gone. We're not sticking. Like, come on.
Facebook.
All right, we're out of here. Matt's not here.
He's the only one downing whiskey, so it is what it is.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, anyways.
I know, man. I have to stay hydrated, man. I drink too much caffeine.
It's all good. Anyways. Let's see. So Brian said 7. Leon said 7.
We're good. We're good.
7.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're good.
What was the last thing you guys heard before we locked up? That would be a good question.
I may have. I was trying to guess the name of the guy with the program.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jill. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Jimmy.
So moving on. Let's move on from all that. So basically, you're basically the trainer. You built the program. You trained over 200 agents to do that, which, although I'm really sorry for what happened to you, it sounds like it actually turned into a really cool acquisition model for you, because now you have all the agents that you train that are reaching out, and now you're basically providing services to all of these agents.
That's how it worked out.
And that's kind of how things worked out. And now, plus you're part of the Academy. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you're going to be working on for the Academy for us, which is really cool. And we're going to talk a little bit more about chatbots. So guys, stick around. I think we're going to show some flows as well and stuff that you're working on now, Angel. So tell us a little bit about sort of what kind of happened. Essentially, I love training, right? Like we talk about events, and we had Shield that did the pay to pitch class a year and a half ago. It was probably one of the most successful acquisition methods we've ever seen with her, which is basically, you know, just doing an event, doing a little bit of training, and then just start acquiring customers at the training session. I think she did like, you know, $18,000 in a weekend or something like that. And for you, you know, you basically, you know, trained a bunch of agents, provide a bunch of value. And then now you've got clients that are reaching out to you to handle all of their marketing, which is really cool. So let's talk about that a little bit and what's happened for you. Matt, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna be right back here.
Go for it.
All right. Hopefully nobody jumps off because I'm leaving.
Don't because Shane's leaving.
I don't know.
We'll find out, Shane. You walk out.
All right, when we walk
We'll
out,
see.
we go down to 5 people.
Viewers are gonna jump up, man.
They're gonna jump up.
Yeah.
The best part is I just sent out the second chatbot message, so they are actually going to jump up when Shane goes off. It's gonna be great. Anyways, so
Yeah, man. So from there, what really ended up happening was with, you know, through that boot camp, one thing that was really cool is that everybody that went through that boot camp always ended up, majority of them, it was like maybe always like 4 or 5 people that wouldn't purchase into the other upper course, right, into the $1,000 course. And then just kind of like end that whole story off. It's like when I started questioning the money and why aren't I being paid at least, you know, 50% of the revenue of what's coming into the boot camp, that was when really things really started just like going down. It was like when I started questioning, you know, again, why wasn't I being paid? He was really quick to kick me out and block me from everything. So I woke up one day and I checked to search for the group, and it didn't show up in my, you know, on Facebook. Like I was completely blocked. So that was kind of how it that all ended. I didn't do anything else after that. You know, try to reach out to him or nothing like that. I just completely ignored everything. And
you just like woke up one day and like this business that you've been working on,
yeah, because so
blocked from it. I mean, that's basically like going to work and like finding out your key card doesn't work anymore.
So what like triggered, hey, like I should check what's going on, is because so the same thing happened with Cheryl. Cheryl was working with him on something else. They were trying to do some type of like you know, like I think they were trying to do teaching agents to build an agency. I think they were doing something like that. And the same thing happened to her where they did it once and there was some fallout between them or whatever. And she was blocked.
We'll have to save Cheryl's story for when Cheryl gets on.
Yeah,
I don't know what her story is exactly.
I don't know her story either.
She wants to share. So we'll go with yours for now. That way,
yeah.
Anything she doesn't want us.
That's true. True.
I don't know I don't know where everybody's at. You know, I mean, the internet's a delicate place these days.
I know, right? Yeah. So I don't know her story either. And so I just kind of like checked and yeah, like you said, man, like I checked to see if I was still in the group myself, and I was not. So that was kind of where things just like fell off. And
it didn't help that, again, you know, another coach that you were working with was also having some issues, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure, man. And so that was it, man. Like that was kind of where that ended off. And I never tried to do the boot camp again. Like I still have everything. Like I have all the videos, everything like all set up, but I didn't want to do it by myself, man. Like I just like, I don't want to do this by myself. It was a lot of work to get everything going and set up, and like, you know, every day, you know, every night. And it was definitely a good dynamic with like 2 people doing, you know, talking, and one person training and the other person kind of just like providing some overview stuff. And it was a really cool dynamic that we had going, but I just didn't want to do it by myself. So I never pushed it anymore. So yeah, but what the real cool thing that kind of came out of all that was a lot of those agents would reach out to me and did reach out to me either it was like during, like after the boot camp, like after the boot camp was over, they would either reach out and be like, screw this is too much work. This is great. Like this, I can see that it works. We see that you know what you're doing. We'll just hire you. You know, we'll just hire you to do this. So,
this kind of became your acquisition method.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That was definitely what has like really now, again, even clients that I'm working with now, a lot of them are from those boot camps. I'm still working with them.
And how much did agents pay to do these boot camps?
We were selling it for the first few. We are selling them for $400, and
Okay.
then he ended up cutting the price to $200, because again,
$200.
yeah, $200, man, because
Okay.
he
It was
knew
5 days, right? 5 days, 2-3 hours a day, wasn't it? Something like that.
it was about 3 hours. Yeah, it was around 5 o'clock. It started at 5 o'clock, and we would go sometimes pretty late, till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Yeah,
answering questions,
I think
answering questions, everything.
my 7-day program for agents was $7.
Oh, $7.
No, I did have a 7, but it was not a 2-hour class each night. So you guys are doing in-depth boot camps. I mean, it's basically like a virtual like workout boot camp, but
It really was just like looking over my shoulder as I built. Like I literally would explain every detail of the image. Seeing it, like at the time,
how are they finding these people to sign up for the boot camps?
there was a free group. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, free group, and they were always coming from that free group. But yeah, so a lot of them would come from the free group. They would sign up, $200 price point. Like, so what really built that whole thing was in exchange, we would give them the flow, and they would provide us with.
Testimonial, right?
They would give us a video testimonial. So like,
Yeah.
hey,
I remember those. And you go to the page, and there'd be like 100 testimonials, right?
yeah, man,
Yeah, I remember that. It was such a good. I mean, that was a great way to do it.
We had a ton of testimonials, man, and it's like, I mean, we went above and beyond, like answering questions.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes we went late just to make sure that they had good things to say. Like, all these guys really care. They answered all our questions, and they know what they're doing. And again, they were amazed by the whole chatbot thing.
So who was on those calls? Was it just you? Was it multiple coaches? Who was on the call?
Yeah, so it was me for sure. It was basically every night that we would show something. So it was me, James, and then Cheryl towards the end. She was one of the coaches as well, so she would be on there every night as well. I think towards the end too, she had like her own little portion that she would teach. It was more like a midday. I think that's actually what we called it, midday Q&A, where on Wednesdays, earlier in the afternoon, we would recap everything that we did on Monday and Tuesday, and she would do that. So that was her part of that boot camp. So yeah, that was kind of the whole acquisition part of it all.
So they had the free group, but I mean, were they running paid ads? Were they running
Nah.
Google ads? It was just the free group basically.
Yeah, just a free group.
And he was also doing a lot of stuff as the Zillow killer videos and stuff like that. Probably brought people to the free group.
I don't know how people would find the free group, honestly.
Okay, so basically they went from free group. I mean, the funnel.
Yeah,
we're going to describe it. It's free group to a 5-day boot camp for $449 or $497, whatever it was. People would sign up for that, and then when they signed up for that, at the end of it, if they weren't interested in doing this stuff for themselves because they see how much work goes into it, basically you'd be like, well, I can do it for you. Here's how much it costs.
Yep, exactly. And
what's the name of that group that you were talking about?
Damn, I don't know. I can't even search it.
Probably find it. Yeah, you can't even access.
Joe
even...
says he was in the $7 for 7 days. He was talking about my program. He says, I was there, and then he says, which group is this? I'm pretty sure I'm in it. So I'm not sure what the name is.
I know it's like, honestly, I don't know, man.
And we're not, by the way, if you're watching right now, we're not trying to trash talk anybody. We're here talking about Angel and Angel's story, right? People change, people go through things, lots of stuff happens.
Well, yeah,
I don't know what
and
the
the
current
other thing
situation is over there at this other group, or if the other group's still around, or what's going on, or if it's great.
Dude, I always told everybody that would reach out, like, hey, I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you. Whatever. I don't ever like intend for you to have bad feelings towards him. Like, whatever.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify that. Like, this is not a bashing thing. Business
deals, you know, they always have, or they can have disagreements with people. And I mean, basically you're telling us your story, your side of the story, even on the situation and where or what you went through to get to where you are today. And that's it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to
I
bash.
will. I
We're
mean,
not trying to do anything like that.
I
Just
kind of
let
have to
everybody
tell
know.
that part because it was a pretty big,
Yeah.
you know, component to where I'm at today. Like again, that's how I got all my clients. It was through that boot camp and
Brian says you can trash talk. Your course is the best real estate course out there.
it is, man. It is hands down for sure.
So I just want to go back to this is really interesting, especially for people that are, you know, trying to figure out different ways to acquire more customers. And I think you start seeing this acquisition method once the marketer starts scaling quite a bit. You start seeing like you've got guys like Brett Rakowski and some of the other.
It becomes a funnel.
It starts to become a funnel, right? And Brett's a really good example of this, where he's got his group, he's got his course, and then he's got his $2,000 service, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really, really good acquisition style because you essentially bring them into this small program that, you know, at least makes you a few $100s that covers your cost of acquisition, right? And then once you get them into your ecosystem, you can start, you know, leveraging that and hopefully convert them into something bigger, which is either a coaching program or, you know, possibly into your marketing services, right? And this is really cool because this is actually something that we're looking to add to the academy. We've all talked about this. We've talked about it with the students inside the private group, where, you know, we're going to start looking at essentially building out a completely white labeled program that you can take and actually build this out into your funnel.
Oh snap! Are we?
Well, yeah, we talked
this?
about it in the private group, so why are we not talking about it here? Right? That's my big secret. Woo-hoo-hoo. For the progression here, right? Like this is, you know, when you first get started, you go out there, do a few trials, get some experience, get some, you know, testimonials, leverage that, get a couple paying clients, right? Now
But you just dropped that so low key. You just dropped that so low key that we're talking about it.
Like I'm just talking about acquisition.
You're talking about giving people a white label course that they can use as a front end offer to make the money back on their client acquisition. That's not just a small, oh yeah, so we've been talking about this and it's kind of a cool thing that we're working on. Like that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. Just low key, that's the thing we're doing.
Well, when it becomes a reality, then we'll make it a big deal. I'm just now
All right, fair enough.
It's started we've been talking about it, right? I'm not gonna,
we have been, but that's what I was like.
But I think when it does happen, it's going to become a very big deal, and I think this will really, you know, help a lot of marketers out, especially people inside the academy, where this can now become part of your, you know, your entire sales funnel, right? And it's worked for. I mean, obviously worked for you, Angel. I mean, this is, you know, how you've acquired all your clients at this point was basically through that sort of strategy, bringing them into a program, a course, or a small, you know, something that they have to pay for. And then eventually, you know, they figure out they can't do it on their own, or they don't have time, or, you know, whatever ends up happening. And then they're just engaging you to, you know, to do the services, right? And we see this over and over again with other marketers as well. So of course it's going to be something that, you know, we want to start looking at, see if we can provide this because it works well. Right. So
it does, man. It does. Whether they still want to do it for themselves. Cause I always find that it's always two issues with, like, you know, with real estate agents. It's either they don't have time to do it or they just don't even want to deal with it. So even like if those are always like the two issues that I find with real estate agents on why they'll hire you. It's, again, they don't have the time or they don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Those are, you know, right. Like I feel like those are the two main reasons why they'll hire you. But there's definitely the market out there that the new agents that can't afford to they have no choice but to do it on themselves, even though they hate it and they don't want to do it. They have no choice, right? And they see that it works. It's a good, you know, lead generation method to build their business. They have no choice but to figure out how to do it. And so,
well, you know, the other thing, it's funny. I was talking to somebody else the other night, to another real estate agent, a couple nights ago. And you know, I guess like I don't take that many clients on anymore. And it's typically, if I'm taking on a client, it's because they've got, you know, massive ad budget. I just don't like, and it's not that I just don't have the time to take on a lot of smaller clients. Right. So I was talking to one guy and he's like, you know, all these people are like reaching out to me and this one guy, he reached out to me, he's been doing this for a couple months. And it's like, if he's been at it for a couple months and I'm a real estate agent and I've been doing real estate for 10 years, like, I think I can actually build a couple ads. So like, how about I just pay, like, I'll just buy your program, teach me the ads, and then, I'll figure it out. Right. And so you're kind of seeing that happening too, where it's like real estate agents like, I'm not paying $1,500 a month for you to do my ads when you've been doing that for 2 months. I think I can figure it out and go out and do it on my own. But what ends up happening is they kind of go out there and do that. Right. And then they start figuring out it's actually a little bit more than just like throwing up some ads and throwing up some pictures, right? There's optimization. There's like what happens when it doesn't work, what happens with the integration, what happens with the follow-ups, the automation, all of that other stuff, right? That they don't really think about. But I think this is a really, like, if you can get them into your ecosystem and then essentially you become, the only person, because of, so much noise out there right now, right? Like, it's just, you're getting 10 cold calls a day, you're getting 20 cold call emails, and then you're seeing posts all over social media. It's like, who do you pick? Well, I'm not going to pick anybody. I'll just do it myself. Right. And it's like, okay, I'm going to pick this guy because he got a nice small program for $300-400. And it's like, now I'm part of that ecosystem. The only person I'm going to listen to is the guy that actually gave me some value. Right. Yeah. Everybody else just kind of, fades into the background at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really what would happen was either, again, like they would do it they would go through the program and, the boot camp, and the boot camp was really easy. Like, it was done for them. Like, if they wanted to, they can build it out while I'm teaching it, because I'm literally, building it, live, like I'm from scratch, like everything from scratch. And so it always ended up whether they did it for a while and they've got some leads going, but then now they don't have the time to continue doing it by themselves. And so then again, now that the time has become an issue, so then they're still going to end up hiring you, like you said, they're going to go for the person or to the person that they have received that value from,
Yeah,
so
the person that they trust now, the person, that they've gotten the value from, the person that's showing them what to do, the person that's hopping on a group coaching call once a week with them, right? That's who they're going to go to. They're going to start ignoring everybody else, right? Unless you're going to fuck everything up, and then it's like, you got a problem at that point.
I'm curious, like, if you are watching right now and you're an agency owner, which we did a little poll earlier. I don't know if you guys were watching it, but we did a poll. Like, we had 8 people respond. All of them were marketing agency owners, right? So if you're an agency owner right now, are you using a funnel to bring in your clients, or are you just, cold emailing, cold calling, and responding to that call or that email, and that's it? Like, do you send them somewhere? Do they buy something first? Like, what does that look like? Do you guys use some sort of funnel if you're watching right now? And if not, is that something that you're interested in learning more about? Let us know.
Ooh.
That funnel, man, that's like, for sure, it's solid. Like, it's really solid, whether it produces an upsell to whatever, or they just hire you to do the service,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a really solid funnel.
Joe's here right now. He always talks about how he was in the $7 7-day challenge. I was like, I'm gonna create something. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be super.
The other issue. Yeah, the other issue that I have too is I don't have an upsell. Like, the only other upsell is to
neither do we.
Yeah, like that was the other thing that I ran into, is like, man, like, I can do this boot camp, but I don't have nothing to upsell them to at the end.
I mean, we ran into a similar problem with the program, which, we were like, well, what do we do? What do we move up to this other program? And we're talking, we're like, well, so what do we have to take out a bunch of the value from the current program in order to make a second one? Like,
all right, okay, I'm going to drop a little secret.
We're not doing that.
I'm going to drop a little secret here. Something else I've been working on here, just on the side, right? Matt doesn't even know about this too, but I'm working on an upsell for marketers.
Damn.
As part of the academy. So we'll talk a little bit more about it, but I just been in the past couple of weeks here that something's come up that I think is going to be really, really just some high level coaching stuff, specifically not for the marketers, but for their clients, that they can actually upsell their clients into.
Yeah, so, not a program higher than the current program. You're saying
not for the academy, but for a marketer client.
This is saying, for if you're a part of the academy, this will be something that you can use as an upsell to your current.
Right. So not only are we looking at the possibility of building out a white labeled downsell product, right? Because that's something we've been talking about. We're looking at, well, I've been looking into what can we do as a high ticket upsell white labeled product for marketers, which is really cool. But the only reason why this came up is because I ended up getting introduced to somebody that can actually do something. So I think it's
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know,
top performing agents in their markets, and they're looking for something to do. So I think this might be really, really cool for the Academy.
yeah. And we are also working on a, I don't know why we're just going into the
I
Academy.
know.
Sorry, Angel. Sorry, Angel. Yeah, we are working on
telling everybody on what,
a potential program that
secrets.
would be an Academy like potential upgrade for people that are in it, that want to go to that next level. But I mean, it would be mainly for people that are, you know, doing 10K plus a month, and trying to get beyond that. Some of the, we won't say much. There's talks. We'll just say that there's talks. So it's kind of
one of the things I'm always looking for is kind of like, okay, you know, we gotten to a point now where it's like, okay, the programs are really, really good, right? Like that's a great thing. But now it's like, what can we, like, how can we leverage what we currently have and what we currently know to not only, you know, like continue to monetize the Academy and you know, the people that are part of the Academy, because that's what, you know, we're in business, right? We're all in business, and
we all got to make money.
We're all looking to make money, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. But is there, like, I'm always looking for, like, okay, how can we make money by making the members money at the same time, right? Like the Academy members money at the same time, right? Which is, I always thought like the white labeled programs were a really good thing, which is why we did the white labeled conversion course, right? So we're like, Academy members can just offer that.
Well, I mean, it was
that was
that,
kind of
and you know,
test to see like if that would work out.
it was that, and I'm kind of hoping to be like Big Bird, like where I will meet real estate agents and they'll be like, I know your voice from somewhere. Like that
I know.
selfish. No, I'm just kidding. But that would be hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
I know your voice, dude. That'd be hilarious. But,
hey, listen, before we keep going here, we got a bunch of questions that are combined.
Yeah.
So we got a few questions, guys. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask. Whether it's about chatbots or, you know, building a
if your
program.
question hasn't been answered yet, you put it in there already and we missed it. Like, we can only scroll so high, so go ahead and repost that.
Yeah, especially because Matt screwed up the live here. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Comcast. I have no problem with throwing them under the bus.
let's see here. Ahmad says, we have been running free trial for everyone who is interested in our program. So should we stop giving free trials, or is it all right to give free trials every time?
So okay, I'm going to answer that one real quick, and then you guys each give your take on it. But a free trial is in itself pretty darn close to worthless, right? You have to have a plan. You have to have, this is, you know, what happens after the free trial. This is what I'm doing the free trial to get, whether it's a referral, whether it's a testimonial, whether it's just a little bit of confidence in yourself. You need to have a reason behind why you're doing a free trial. If you're just doing free trials because you're like, well, I hear that's how you get clients, but you don't have a funnel, you don't have a process, you're not getting anything out of these, you know, I mean, you're just throwing shots out there hoping that they hit something, right? You have to have a plan. You have to go into it knowing the end goal that you're trying to do this free trial for. I don't disagree with free trials, but I disagree with just doing a free trial because somebody said do a free trial. You need to know why you're doing it, and you need to have a purpose for it.
Yeah, 100% agree with that too. That's why even running, like, you know, if I were to do the boot camp again, even doing it, you know, super cheap, that was that final kind of bump in the road that why I didn't end up doing it is because I didn't have a plan. Like, I would spend 5 days, you know, 3 hours a day. That's a lot of time, a lot of effort. I mean, I'd be drained by the end of that week. And to not have a plan after. What's that?
How many people were usually on those?
A minimum of 30, man. Yeah, minimum of like at least 30 on those calls. It was always a big group. Yeah, it was always a big group that would jump in. And so even doing them at low price points, knowing again why he cut that price. Initially it was at 400 and then it came down to 200. Why he did that was because he knew that majority of those people were buying the $1,000 course. So it was, at that point, it was just like, let's get as many people in here as possible, knowing that they're going to, spend $1,000 at the end of this. So that for me, it was like, man, I don't have another thing to sell them to. Like very, very little is it going to happen that they're going to hire you. Like for me, the ones that hired me were always either like they were brokers or they were team leaders. They had big budgets. Those were always the ones that would end up hiring me.
I mean,
everybody else would buy the course.
And I'm trying to. It was sold for what, $450-ish?
$400.
$400. Okay.
And then it came down to 200. The last like 3 that we did.
Okay, but you were doing like what, 40% on that?
My cut.
Mm-hmm.
that was why things fell apart.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't getting a cut. And then at the very end, when I brought up the money, he was giving me $1,000.
I'm sitting here on my calculator like, you're still doing all right, man. 40%, like.
I wish, man. I wish.
Let's move on here to some of the other questions here before we run out of time. But if you want my opinion on the trials or the free trials, I'll give you my opinion. So the free trials. So just for a man here,
what is it?
Well, no, I mean,
can we get your opinion on this, Shane?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay,
I do. The only reason why you should be doing free trials is for just for a couple different reasons, right? Number one, you have no experience and you need experience. So you're going to go leverage somebody else's money to do, get a free trial and get it going. And you need a testimonial and you need some results so you can build the case study. That's the only reason why you should be doing free trials. Never, ever do a free trial to think you're going to get a client. That's the wrong expectation all the time. Free trials typically don't turn into paying clients. So do a free trial to get results, testimonials, and experience so that you can leverage that to get a paying client. Right. So now it does happen. Don't get me like I've had my first trial is still a client today, which is crazy. Every once in a while I run ads for him, which is the craziest thing. Right. I don't know why he kept, I think it's just because I'm a nice guy. But I don't know why after like burning through $1,500 of his money in the first 2 months that I worked with him, got him 0 results, like nothing. Right. We just kept testing stuff and eventually something kicked in and they started getting results. Now things are going really well. And he just ended up being a really good testimonial for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't do trials. The funny thing, every once in a while I still do trials, but now I do them for a different reason. And that's simply because we're testing. It's like, hey, yeah, we'll do a free trial because we want to test a bunch of stuff now. And
I'll do free. I've done a couple free trials, but I do them to get some video testimonials as well too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's that. And that's it, right? That really should be the expectation. Move on. And then, you basically leverage all of that to go out and get some more paying clients.
What sucks is when you don't get the testimonial. It's like, like either because like I actually just did that not too long ago with and it was completely different, like business type. It was not a real estate agent, and I did some video work for her, and I put together like this whole like series of videos because she's trying to raise money for her business, and the COVID-19 thing like really hit her, and so I did all kinds of video. Probably spent like 10 hours of video shooting and video editing, and I was like at the very end, I was like, I'll give this all to you for free. All I ask is for a video testimonial, and I still have not gotten it. I'll get it.
Jump on a Zoom with her. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I gotta jump on a Zoom, do an interview style.
Right? Exactly. Yeah,
at the very least get your testimonial. So, but it's tough too. Like even doing trial, like when you're doing trials, and if you're gonna do like free trials and you do them, and then it's like you get shit results. It's like, oh fuck, all that work for nothing, right? Too, yeah. So one of the things I tried it, like I've always done, like when I was doing free trials, the worst thing I was doing homes list to a landing page. Like that was just, and it's like I could not, like it was really hard to generate leads. It was really hard to make the clients happy. It was only when we started doing like listings to lead forms that's when we like started pumping out a lot of leads for
Mhm.
people. And typically I've always recommended like only do trials for like 2-3 days. Don't like some of these
Let
people
them.
do like 2-week, 3-week, 4-week trials. By the time they get to the 4th week, they've figured out that like all the like they can't follow up with 90% of the leads because nobody's answering their like don't that's the wrong time to
Yeah.
get a because now they're frustrated at that point. You want to do a 2-3 like so this is typically how I run like trials like more recently is like you basically $200-300 spend it all in the first 2 days and just like basically overwhelm them with leads. And when you call them up on the second day and like, oh my God, I've never gotten so many leads in my life. Like that's when you want to get the testimonials.
Yeah,
So,
that's always been the tough part with free trials. It's like I feel like it kind of sets the wrong expectation sometimes. But I think that's pretty solid how you just explained it.
yeah, well,
Solid.
you should go into the like the expectation is that okay, I'm going to do this for you, but like the selfish part of me, I'm only doing this so that I can get your results. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I want is the results. I can build a case study, and I can like all marketers do out there. Basically blast their the results on social media and show
Mhm.
everybody how they're getting 55-cent leads. And that'll never convert anyway. So it's like like, but that's what's going to win more clients, right? Like I mean that at the end of the day, and you just start continue to do that over and over and over again. And eventually, like I know now, every time I post results, I get 3-4 people that reach out to me in my messenger that it's like, hey, I want to do ads and blah blah blah, right? Like, so you're leveraging your free trials, just to get more customers essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
And Shane, where was you answered a question? I'm trying to figure out where it was here. What's the next?
I
You
know
see the
now.
next one? Also, you guys, are you enjoying this? Like everybody's so quiet tonight. I just hope they're taking it all in. That's all it is.
The other component too that I feel like that I do want to touch on a little bit too is, and outside of the messenger bots, is like the other part that I don't see anybody doing. I haven't seen anybody, at least myself, is so everybody always talks about the lead gen side of it, leads, and for me, like personally, I've always hated that expectation. Like I hate it it kills me when a client or a prospect, right at the time, a prospect hits me up and like they're just so lead focused. Like they want leads and they think that it's going to be like an overnight success type of thing, right? Because we can generate so many leads and blah blah blah, and they're so short term focused that it doesn't work out that way. And so then you got to come at them because everybody posts all kinds of results, and they think that like that person, that marketer or whatever has done this in a short period of time, where really they've probably been doing this for like they've probably been running these campaigns for a long time, and they're just showing the good stuff of it, right? So then for like those,
What's wrong? Nobody's showing the $25 leads that they're fucking up on.
yeah, exactly, right. And so
Like,
I've also tried to do that myself too. Like I'll definitely post my results, but I try to be like at least realistic. Like, hey, like we got this one good one, but we've spent like $1,000 into this. Like this client's gonna generate freaking $20,000 out of this campaign, but we've spent a ton of money already trying to do this. So I'll try to put stuff out there because I wouldn't want to attract the type of client that expects the same for them and not knowing that you got to spend some money, man. And so that whole other component of it is like the organic side of it, the content marketing side of it. And I'm really curious to hear like your guys' opinions and even some of if anybody's listening, like if they've ever tried to implement content marketing, because like I will tell a client, we're not going to work together if you're not willing to give me video. Like if you're not willing to get in front of the camera, this is not going to work. I don't want to work with you, and so because I just feel like it's so powerful, so valuable to implement content into the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really the like I've been able to work with clients for a long time. Like my longest client was my first client. Like I'm still working with him. It's 4 years. Every other client, it's been a year, 2 years. Like I've been with them for a long period of time. And what's really cool is that I've been able to see all that work that we put into Instagram, into Facebook, videos, all that stuff really now start to flourish, because the really sucky part of the whole content side of it is that it takes time, man. Like it takes a long time for those things to start to, but it pays off. Like it really does pay off if you're willing to do it for a year, for 2 years, and really, you know, creating content and always providing value. And that's like the whole other component, the other aspect of it that I feel like is missing from real estate marketing, you know. And again, like I like to work with those types of clients that are willing to put in the work and go, you know, go live or shoot some stories and things like that. And
It's not easy.
it's not easy. It's not, definitely not. And but again, those clients really win, man. Like those are my most successful clients, are the ones that do implement content into their strategy, you know. And I'm here to work with them, like, hey, oh, shoot this, shoot that, shoot this, you know, talk about this. Oh, you're doing that this weekend, make sure to, you know, shoot a quick video, do that, give it to me, and I'll implement it into our campaigns and just retarget all of our data. Like we have a ton of video view data, we have a ton of lead form open data, messenger subscribers, everything. Like we got to retarget all these people. And I've definitely, and it's kind of cool, like I've seen it a couple times where a messenger subscriber, you know, from months back will end up coming back around into the flow because of we're retargeting with video content or something along those lines, you know. And so it's kind of cool to see that come back. And again, like I've been able to see it in the long term because I've worked with them long enough to see the results of that.
Right.
Again, the crappy part is that you can't really track it. You know, you can't really track, I guess it's considered more branding, right? Like you can't really track branding.
Branding stuff to track. It is. It definitely is. Brian says, awesome call. Chris says, this is great. Joe says, yes, yes, yes. 100%. And let's see. Doug says, is this content for ads as well as the pages?
Is this content for ads as well as pages? That was the question?
Yeah, when they're creating the content. Are you using it
Well,
just?
yeah, I'm definitely, yeah, I'm putting money behind it for sure.
Okay, so it's not just organic.
No, yeah, it's not just organic. Like I have one client right now, my first client that I'm still working with. His stuff is definitely more organic. Yeah, like I've really gotten our goal last year was for him to really start going hard on stories, on Instagram stories. And like he kills it, man. Like he kills it on Instagram stories. And he does really well where he's able to get people to engage with him. Like that's really what it's all about, is just like getting people, just even if it's irrelevant, like it doesn't have to always be about real estate. Like what are you doing on the weekend? What are you doing other times? You know, try to figure out other ways, you know, for agents, at least. I guess this is more like for agents, is like figure out other ways to spark a conversation. You know, like it doesn't have, nobody's gonna, I mean, yeah, sometimes they'll definitely engage with you when it's real estate stuff, but if I have a similar interest that you do, like maybe you like biking, I like biking, and you take a picture, hey, I'm out biking, or I'm out, you know, take a video of I'm out biking, like, oh, cool, where are you biking at? Like, that's what it's all about, is just getting people to engage with you, you know, like you're doing everything else through your content, and they know you're a real estate agent. And so eventually they'll come to you when it's time for them to buy, you know.
Joe says he walked into a car dealership today and the saleswoman asked him if he was Joe the realtor.
Yeah, he does a lot of
seen his live video from a few months ago and remembered him. It worked.
Yeah, man, that's powerful stuff. Like I love that. I love hearing that.
I hope you got a good deal. I hope you got a good deal on that new Lambo.
I love that. I'm a big Gary Vee.
Is that what
fan.
he's buying? Is a new Lamborghini?
Why not?
Okay, hang on. We're way ahead of like what I wanted to talk about. A couple things that have been mentioned.
Okay.
And then we got some more questions here. We got Brian that's got some questions, and Matt has some more questions. And guys, if you got any questions, this is the time to ask. Yash has a question as well. Okay, so I want to go back to what you said about posting results and how when you're posting, like essentially be careful what kind of results you're posting, because the types of results that you post are going to attract a specific type of customer. And this is really, really interesting. I actually had a phone call yesterday with Luke Shankula, who's going to be a long form Luke, right? AKA long form Luke, who's actually going to be on Whiskey Thursday in a few weeks from now. Talk about mortgages and stuff, so you don't want to miss that. But essentially he said the same thing, right? He stopped posting results over a year ago like ad results, right? Like, hey, I can get cheap leads, blah 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 blah, because he
Mhm.
felt like he was attracting the wrong clients, right? And so it's exactly what you just said, Angel, which is true. Like, if you're going to go out there and post cheap leads, guess what you're going to attract? Cheap customers, right? Now it's totally different. I can do it. I do it all the time because I'm trying to attract marketers, right? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
check it out. This is what we can do, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so like, oh my God, they're like, why is like Shane doing 25,000 leads every 3 months? It's like, well, he must be doing something right, right? Of course, I want to attract you to the group, and then so we
Like-
can sell you a course.
It's like I mentioned earlier, right? It's about having a goal, having a funnel, having a purpose to whatever you're doing, whether it's trial or posting cheap leads.
Yeah, so be really careful as a marketer. Be very careful what you're posting on social media, because whatever your post is, that's when you're going to start attracting are those types of people, right? And it's true. Like, as soon as you start changing that, and you start changing more around like what the result is, and more along the testimonials and so on, like, you're going to start attracting different types of clients, right? So just I thought that was a really good point that you made, and it seems that others are doing the same thing as well. And then the other thing here too, which is actually one of Amad's question, which is, how can I improve the lead quality in chatbot ads? Is it copy that makes the difference? I mean, most people are just selecting poor credit score and lowest price options available there. So I want to answer this, and then and Angel, you can go ahead and answer this as well, because I'd love to get your opinion. But if you're getting cheap leads, it's because your copy sucks.
Mhm.
That's why. Change the copy.
Mhm.
Stop telling people that you can get them, no down payment, mortgages or whatever you're doing inside of your copy. Like, change the copy. That's what's attracting leads with low credit scores.
I like. Go ahead if you want. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
what I've seen, right?
That's 100%, because I mean that's the entry way of that's like the first thing that they're seeing, and that's what's bringing them into that funnel, right? And so changing the copy, that's 100%, you're like spot on. I like to use it's always still some form of click the button to find out if you qualify. So like, if you have something like, if it doesn't even have to be maybe you're a realtor and you offer $1,500 back to the bot, to whoever or something, right? Like, if you're a veteran or whatever it is, like I have a few clients where they do something special for, whether you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a veteran or whatever, right? So all it is just, oh, okay, you do that, well, let's just put a name to it. Like, let's put a name to it and make it sound fancy. And now it's your program. Like, now this is your, I don't know, veteran, blah, blah, blah program. Now it sounds a little bit fancy. Same thing with teachers or things like that, putting a name to the program, and then, hey, find out if you qualify for my program and you can get blah, blah, blah. And that's what I like to do with bringing people into like that survey funnel that I have. And I use that all the time, man. Like I
Well, and yet I think the other thing too, as marketers, like, stop being addicted to cheap leads. Like, that's the worst thing you could do. Like, just forget about CPL. Like, focus on the quality, right? Like, focus on the results. Stop thinking like, and I know, like, it's such a problem. Like, even inside the academy, we've had a couple marketers out there. It's like, holy crap, like, why my leads $2.50 and they're not 50 cents, or they're not $1? Like, why are they $2.50? It's like, oh my God, you're trying to do that. But what's really cool, I got something coming up for Academy members here really, really soon. I actually ran a quick little test. I'm going to share this inside the private group really soon. And you're going to see something really, really cool where you'll see the difference in the quality of the lead, specifically from the ad copy. So just by running a specific ad copy and then modifying it to a different offer, the change in the quality of the leads. I'm going to show you that inside the private group, probably in the next couple of days or so. And it's wild. Like, like, the lead quality goes from shit poor leads to like, holy crap, these are amazing leads, just by changing the ad. And it's funny because I didn't notice this until yesterday, how, and it was on, like, I was talking to Luke, and it was Luke that's like, look at your little leads are great. Like, what are you talking about? Like, your ad copy changed, just your price goes up, right? So anyways, I want to share some of this inside of the academy, just to show like what what ends up happening when you run different types of ad copies and how it can impact the quality of the lead, right? We don't see this with lead forms. Like, it's really, really difficult. We see it from the client because the client's reaching back out to us and saying, hey, listen, all these leads are shit. And sometimes it might be true, but that's because we're just using shitty ad copy, right? But that's because we're addicted to those 50-cent leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely, the ad copy makes a big difference, especially, and then just kind of to answer, who was it? I don't remember his name. Yeah, so to answer his question, it's like the copy makes a big difference, and I've definitely have done where ran campaigns where it sounds like anybody can qualify to buy a house, right? It's like $20,000 down payment, and we'll cover all this other stuff, and it sounds like anybody can do it. And so those definitely have brought in, like, everybody's got poor credit and poor bad leads. So the ad copy makes a huge difference. I always if I want to run people through that survey and try to get people to book an appointment through that messenger flow, I will still always try to come up with something where I can put the call to action, where click the button to find out if you qualify for our new program or something like that.
Very cool. So Brian has a question here. He says, how to use chatbots for seller ads?
Yeah, for seller ads.
It's just like, I see this all the time, even inside, like, there's questions inside the private group. I think there's been 2 in the past week here about, like, oh, what's the best seller ads? And it's like, what's converting, right? And it's like, show me your best seller ad. It's like, everybody wants sellers.
It's true, man. And that there's no real strategy sellers are just, they're hard, man. Like, I always go back to the strategy of generating buyer leads to get sellers, man. Like, that I've tried it so many times to try to, run seller campaigns, and I always just go back to, buyer leads, generating buyer leads to get sellers. Yeah.
And there's certain campaigns that are going to generate a lot more seller leads, right? Like, I noticed that when if we run lead ads with a listing, we generate a lot of sellers, lots of, like,
what you don't do is you don't go in and just post spammy stuff about your real estate company in the real estate marketing and conversion mastery group. That's what you don't do. Sorry, just saw somebody spam the thing, so yeah.
The spam Nazi.
Yeah, everybody wants sellers, man, and especially clients too. It's like, oh yeah, you want to run a seller campaigns? Or why are you?
Of course, everybody wants a seller.
Yeah.
No wonder. Like, I always see these posts like, "Oh, my client wants seller leads." Of course they do, but nobody wants to pay for them. Not only that, most agents don't know how to convert them.
Yeah,
that's the other problem. Like, they're not easy to convert, right, Matt? I mean, it's like,
no.
They're very, very, like, it's a very, very different conversion process, with seller.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit more skilled, right? Because the seller has a lot more opportunity.
Especially if they're cold. Like,
yeah.
Well, not only that, but you get them on the phone. Sellers have lots more opportunity than a buyer, right? Buyers are looking at houses. They're not even thinking about the fact that there's multiple agents to choose from. Sellers are like, I'm going to talk to the agent who's going to give me, the most money for my house, because a lot of them, they think a different agent's going to make, thousands of dollars, which it can, but again, you find the top agents in the same area, they're probably going to give you the same price, but some of them might give you a price break, commission break. So sellers have options, buyers have options, but are often.
So here's the secret to seller leads. You want seller? Like, this is the secret.
You're not giving out my ad, are you?
No, I'm not gonna. No, because I don't think that's gonna help either, right? Here's what you do. No, this is what you do. Seriously, $10,000 budget, right, per month, right? $10,000. You want seller leads? It's gonna cost you $10,000 a month. We're gonna generate you, 1,000 leads a month. We're gonna run them through an ISA, and then you're gonna go. You're gonna get homeowners in that. There's no doubt that you're gonna get a listing in that. You want a seller lead? That's what it's gonna cost you, right? But like, the amount of, like, the ROI on a seller lead is about 5 to 7 times what it is from a buyer lead. You get so many, like, you get a listing, you're automatically getting another buyer, almost, right? Like it's because you're gonna advertise it, right? You're gonna advertise, you're gonna get buyers that are coming to the house, you're gonna do open houses, you're gonna do, like, good agents are gonna generate a ton of extra customers from a listing campaign, like a listing, right? But if you want seller leads, tell them it's going to be $10,000. Like I'm sorry, Mr. Client, but that's my fee. It's 10 grand. You want seller leads? It's 10 grand. So, and I know that we just ran one last month, and that's what roughly it cost. And at the end of the day, we ended up getting, I think it was 3 or 4 listings we got from it.
Boom.
But
yeah, I always
for 10 grand, you get 4 listings. But we got a shit ton of buyers too, right?
Yeah.
Like that, like a ton of buyers. But we ended up getting, I think we got 4 listings out of it. And you know, again, like it's just, it costs money to generate sellers. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, it's definitely tougher. And I always explain it to them too, like the tables are turned, you know, like, yeah, it's same thing with buyers. Like, yeah, they're gonna maybe, you know, look for who they hire, but for the most part, it's the first agent that they speak to or that they see, right? That's who a buyer will go to. But a seller, like they are now like, you got to sell them. Like you got to now, why should I hire you to sell my house? You know, it's like the tables are turned at that point. And so it's tougher to sell them on, you know.
And sorry, everybody's kind of, I bet you everybody that's watching is like $10,000. Are you crazy? No, but seriously, like $5 a lead at 1,000 leads a month, right? So you get like it's and plus the follow-ups, right? So get a really good follow-up, a really good ISA team to do the follow-ups on that, right? And so that's another $5 per lead or whatever it is. So it ends up being $10 a lead. That's 10 grand. There you go. You're gonna get a listing. You'll get some listings out of that. But if you want sellers, that's what you need to pay, Mr. Client. They're going to be like, holy crap. Like, I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know if I can afford that. I'm like, you know, if you want listings, like if you're serious and you seriously want to be like that top performing agent, like where you're getting listings in your market, like how many listings do you have right now, Mr. Agent? Well, I don't have any listings right now. And you want seller leads? Like, fuck, come on. Jeez. It drives me crazy when agents say, I want sellers and they have no listings.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Seriously, like that drives me crazy.
It's one thing if they've sold them all recently, but it's like, I don't usually get listings. I mainly work with buyers, but I want to start working with sellers. So can you do that for me?
Well, I get it, but like figure out your own. Okay, well, sure. Like we can generate you leads.
What do you have to offer? You know?
But like, what do you, like, okay, are you ready to give up? Like, you know, a quarter, maybe half of your commission? I can generate you seller leads all day long, but are you ready to give up half your commission? Well, no, I can't do that. You know, I got pictures and I got, you know, virtual tours to do. And I've got like Matterport shit to do. Really? Do you really like, it's like, okay. But like, don't start working with agents that have no, like if the agents are demanding seller leads and they have no listings, I think that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just the way I just.
It's true, man. Yeah, it's totally true. I like
tell them it's going to be 10 grand. Like, and then they're going to be like, oh no, I can't do that. It's like, okay, well, what else do you got? Right.
Let's get to some
They're going to be super impressed. The other thing too, they're going to be super impressed. You're charging $10,000 to get seller leads. Right. And then if you can't get them, at least you have a bunch of profit there. You can go out and hire somebody that can help you.
Yeah, I know. Right.
That's how you do it. Anyways, let's move on.
I just won't do it, man. It's like, nope.
No, it's craziness.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the other questions. We're already at 10 o'clock, so I want to make sure we get to these other questions before it's too late. Let's see. We got through Ahmad. It's where's the next actual question? Okay, so how much do you charge for your content to an agent?
For my content, to like manage social media, I think that's what he means. So I charge per platform. So with clients, I'll charge them if they're already on if they're paying me to run their ads, then I'll charge them $300 right now. So it's $297 per platform. What I'll charge them if they're already a client. Otherwise, I'll charge them $397 if that's all they want. Yeah, because I try not to like. I care a lot about long term. Like I don't want clients to feel like I'm trying to nickel and dime them for stuff and you know things like that. You know, like I care about a client staying with me and paying me for 2 years and trying to make a large sum of money in 3 months because they feel like I'm nickel and diming them. You know, so at the very minimum, I'll charge them $297 per platform to run there, and that'll obviously include like, you know. It'll be like 20 posts. So I'll do like a minimum of 20 posts. If they're out of state client, I won't take them on, and that's just something for maybe all of you guys. If you guys ever are looking to do like content management, social media management, I won't take on a client unless they know that, hey, you're responsible to get me the content. Like I can't. The way that I run social media management, like I'm not gonna put up just a bunch of generic posts and things. Like I'll tell you straight up, like that's not gonna work. It's not gonna do anything for your followers or to even grow a following.
Mhm.
But everything else, like you're responsible to shoot X amount of videos per week. You need to get me that content so that I can.
How many
put it
videos
together.
is that typically?
They'll at very least they'll get me one video a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
one video a week.
So they're
is what
giving
I
you
tell
one video a week to use for content. You're running ads to it. You're running that on Facebook as well as, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
You're going to a chatbot. Now, how does that work from Instagram? Because I've heard issues. I don't know if they fixed it. I haven't run any chatbot stuff with Instagram recently. But can you run a chatbot ad or a messenger ad to Instagram and get that going into your messenger bot?
Yeah. So same thing. It's instead of putting, you still have the option to drop a link, a website link.
Mhm.
So within ManyChat, it's called the Messenger Ref URL.
Right. There was a time. This might have been early last year, but there was a time where you could not use the ref URL with Instagram.
You had
Right?
to.
Am I crazy or is that right?
I think you might be talking. Yeah. So I think the workaround that was you had to convert it to a Bitly link, and then it would work.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe if that's what you're talking about, because I remember there was a time where I wasn't able to insert the Messenger Ref URL, and I converted it to a Bitly link, and that worked. But it does work now. Like I do it all the time, where I'm able to use the Ref URL link from Instagram to Messenger, to Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And I know Instagram is, because I've seen it. They got their own messenger now, so like you can take them to Instagram. I think it's called the Instagram Direct, but there's no messenger bot there still.
Okay.
I don't know if there ever will be, honestly, but yeah, I'll always take them back to Facebook Messenger.
Doug says, do you consider Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger as 3 different platforms?
No, not Messenger. Facebook, Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
But Messenger, I wouldn't consider that a different platform now. If you're managing, I would definitely consider it a service if you're the one managing, the subscribers and, follow up and all that stuff, but not a separate platform like to manage necessarily. Facebook, Instagram, the content is different. So like I always create it differently for Instagram than I do for Facebook. So yeah, I charge those separately for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
sorry.
Go ahead, Shane.
No,
Just take over.
Yeah,
You leave without notice, you come back without whatever.
Right.
Do whatever you want, man.
I'm just looking. I just don't want to. I don't want to appear on camera when I do this. It's kind
When
of
you do what?
when I like bend over and try to grab some stuff and make some noise, and so I just
It's all good.
rather.
It's all
but
good.
listen,
It's Whiskey Thursday.
So listen, for everybody who's watching, thanks so much for watching. We're coming up on about 10 o'clock here. And Angel, we really appreciate you coming on the show and chatting with us and being here. It's been awesome. Guys, last call here for some questions, but I think we're going to talk a little bit about the chatbot flows. Angel's going to go ahead and hopefully you can share something here with people that are watching, and especially for the people that have been watching the entire time. Let's let Matt go ahead and spam the people one more time here. Some of our subscribers, let them know we're going to share some chatbot flows really quickly. But before we get into that, again, if you've got some more questions, last call here for questions. People that are inside of the Academy, let's talk about some of the updates that are coming here. Just because of Angel's background and everything that he's done and his knowledge of training, putting together course content, and the fact that he's essentially been running chatbot campaigns almost exclusively for his real estate agents, and the fact that he's trained over 200 real estate agents, is assisting us with updating our chatbot component inside of the Academy. So this is really, really exciting here because the chatbot side of things inside of the Academy has been lacking a little bit. We did something about a year and a half ago with Pat, and ever since then, we've been kind of struggling and trying to update that. And we've had some flows that have disappeared. We don't know where they went. And so, so Angel has agreed to give us a hand here and help us out inside the Academy. So guys, whoever's part of the Academy, you guys are getting some updates here coming really, really soon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here really quickly, just show you guys what, and I think some of you have probably seen this already. Let me just go ahead and share this really quickly. So for those of you that are part of the Academy, we've got a whole new ManyChat Messenger bot marketing section here, and a ton of awesome stuff. And it's almost, I believe this is pretty close to being ready. There's a ton of content here. I believe there's over 30 some videos that are being uploaded as we speak. And all of this should be ready probably within the next week to 2 weeks, so week or so. Yeah, so we're really excited about this. And I think this is, for anybody that is—
Shane, wait, you went through and figured out ManyChat and how to run bots and created all this
content? Oh yeah, man, that's all me now.
What?
Yeah, no. So yeah. No, I did not spend the time to figure all this stuff out. But we just thought it would be, it just made sense that to get Angel to come in and give us a hand here to put some of this content or most of the content together for the ManyChat module inside of the Academy. So if you're part of the Academy, this is going to be really exciting. This is going to be one of the updates that are coming out. And
Angel's going to be teaching the entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so really
thanks for the credit, guys.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows how to crush it with chatbots is coming in and teaching you guys how to crush it with chatbots.
Yeah, really exciting. So we really appreciate the help and the assistance with this, and I think it's going to be really, really valuable for it's going to allow you to step things up a little bit, right, with your campaigns, and give you some additional options here. So, and these are all proven methods, right? Sorry, what?
No, go ahead. They're all proven methods, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Say something, Matt.
And I have one question. Like, why do you push chatbots so hard over landing pages, over lead forms, over everything? Why is it that you have fallen in love with the chatbots?
So again, I think I said this earlier on. I love the getting the responses, right? Like that's always the tough part, is getting some form of response from those leads. So a lot of times, either with some clients, I'll do some follow-up in Messenger. Not all my clients I do that for, because some clients it's like, I'll hook you up, you've been with me for 2-3 years, I'll help you out here and there, and I want them to keep winning. So I'll do follow up. I'll see them come into the CRM and they're not getting, they're not getting responses over there. There's no phone call, with email. But then if I'll go and follow up with a messenger, a lot of times I'll get good responses there. Whether, again, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Leave me alone. I don't care, things like that, whatever. But at least I'll get something. And that's what I really love about it is that direct channel of communication. Like, again, you don't have to worry about whether it's a bad phone number. Like, there's no such thing as a bad Facebook profile, right? Like, if I send you a message via Messenger, that's a direct channel to your Messenger inbox. And so I've been able to have, pretty decent success where through Messenger getting good responses out of there. So that's really, I feel like it's an additional component, like it's an added thing to, I don't think it's like the end all be all to everything. I use it for everything, but I think it's just
I don't think it's the end all be all, but I use it for everything.
I do, man. Like
it's just another way to communicate with the leads, right?
It is, man.
Essentially, it is, right? Like it's just, you're building up a subscriber base that you can have conversation with. Some people are fine to have conversations inside of Messenger, right? Yeah. Some people probably prefer that over text message, over email. And in the same way that some people would prefer text over phone, or some people would prefer to talk on the phone than text. It's just another way to communicate with the leads.
And I think that's important for everybody, right? Like, you should have every channel to communicate open and available, and you should know how to use it. So if you have messenger bots available to you, you should know how to use them. You should know how to open that channel up and communicate with these leads. in the way that they're coming from, right? Like they're coming from Facebook. So again, like I've had pretty good response rates from Messenger. But yeah, and back to like, I do use it for everything. And I'll show you a client here. We literally use Messenger bots for everything.
Yeah, let's dive in and let's take a look at a flow real quick. We got just a couple minutes here before we're gonna hit the 2-hour mark. So let's dive in though and look. What does the flow look like? What is this doing? And let's show those the viewers who are interested in this.
For sure. So I
Getting-
think of one pretty simple one. Like everything is, it's really just building your subscribers, right? And there's a lot of very easy ways to build subscribers with Messenger bots. And I'll show you guys this one, and then I'll show you guys a little bit more of an advanced one. So during COVID-19, open houses were completely shut down. Clients weren't able to run open houses. And so what we did was we ran virtual open house campaigns, and the client was able to use those subscribers, the ones that clicked to go watch the Matterport. They were able to use those results and provide them for their clients, because they're for the sellers, and say, look, this is how many people came to the open house, right? Like the virtual open house. So it was a lot of value for them during the last 3 months. I think just recently they were able to do open houses again. But again, like very simple. This is a very simple flow here where the ad, so they've got the Facebook ad, it's a video that's running, and so they come into the ref URL, and then they come in here. Actually, let's just preview it, so that way we can get it live in action. So we'll get it over here. Oh, here it is. So all it says, very simple, man, super simple. Hey, Angel, this is our virtual open house campaign. Down below is the address to the link to access our 3D virtual tour. Please respond here if you have any questions. So then down here, they're able to visit the website, and then they also have the opportunity to visit the virtual tour. So that website, they'll definitely get pixeled there. This is going to take them to the Matterport, so they'll be able to go here. Click that button there, and then this takes them to Matterport, right? So this is essentially the virtual tour, right?
Right.
There's that option, and then the other option is view website, right? So it'll take them to the actual website. Hopefully it's still live. Yeah, so there it is. So then it'll take them to the website where, again, they're going to get pixeled there. A lot of clients too, like, again, because I'm working with them long term, like they are definitely believers in branding and running retargeting ads to build brand. And so what I always like to do is any way that I can track somebody, whether it's through become a Messenger subscriber or I pixel them to a website, like that's key, right? Like that's key for me. Because again, I'm working with these clients long term, and so we'll retarget them with other content.
Well, yeah, it's more than just that immediate ROAS, right? You're looking for a long-term lifetime value on a client.
Yeah. So another one, like another single listing, like this is another one that'll be in the course, in the modules. So like I was doing these a lot. Let's see, we'll just pull up 718. Let's see what this one looks like. These were all like single listings. So I would throw a lot of these at the very end of lead forms. So I'd build these out. And once you got one built out, like it's really easy to just swap out some of the information to build out some of the other ones.
Yeah. And are you going through this all in this new module that you put together in the program?
Yeah. Everything's going to be broken down.
Run through this whole thing in there.
Yeah. So this is a little sneak peek to what, if you guys don't mind, actually, I mean,
yeah.
You do mind?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is all like a sneak peek to what will be in the modules. So this right here was again specific to, I would use these flows at the end of the lead form. So I would capture the name, email, phone number through the lead form. And then at the very end, this is a ref URL. So I'd drop that link, and then it'd be like, hey, we prepared all the information for you down below. Click the button, blah, 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 directly to your inbox, something like that, right? So then
That is awesome.
take a peek inside so they can view all the photos.
What happens if they click view photos right there?
Hopefully it still works. This is an old listing. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I set this up. Hopefully they're still there.
Okay, so this one's set up to Drive. So they're going straight to a Google Drive to view all this.
Yep. So then they got all the pictures here.
Okay.
So it's set up all in Google Drive. So yeah, they got all the pictures here.
All right. Well, let's not give it all away. Because I mean, there's everybody in the court or in the program is going to get access to all of this stuff. Sounds like, is that right?
Yep, exactly.
They're going to get these different versions. They're going to be able to use this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's awesome. And I think we got to ask, right? Because we talked about this guy who you paid $6,000 to at the beginning of the program. But now that you got the messenger out there and you saw my ask, was it Grant Wise?
Oh, oh shoot!
Is that who it was?
No, it wasn't Grant Wise, man.
Okay. We just gotta clarify because I
didn't notice.
I was like, who's got a $6,000 real estate program? Like, I sent you the message earlier, then we see it right there. I'm like, we gotta address the elephant.
Oh, we gotta talk about it now.
Me like, you think it was? I'm like, I don't know. He hasn't told us though.
It was not. Yeah, it was not Grant Wise. It was So the course was just like a generic Facebook advertising course. It wasn't like specific to real estate.
Okay.
But it was I mean, do you guys want me to say the name?
Matt's gonna take it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
We'll talk after the program.
All right.
And we can decide if we're going to put it in the chat. Yeah, should we put it in the chat if he tells us after the program?
No. No. If people really want to know, they can message Angel directly.
There you go.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's wrap it up, guys. Listen, thank you so much, Angel, for all this time, over 2 hours here. We really appreciate it. And everybody's been watching Whiskey Thursday. Thanks a lot. Did you finish all your bottles, Matt?
No, I got 2 more to go. So
okay,
keep going as long as you want.
Perfect. Okay. So for everybody who's watching, guys, if you've been watching since the beginning, hashtag Super Trooper, let us know that you've been here since we started the show. We really appreciate. We always love to know who's supporting us. And guys, if you're catching us on YouTube or any other platform, and you're not sure where to find these Whiskey Thursday lives, and you want to come check us out live, come on Facebook, search the Real Estate Marketing Conversion Mastery Facebook group. It has been the fastest growing Facebook group for real estate marketing in a long time. We're close to, we're almost about to hit 13,000 members. So
I know. It's slowed down this past month.
Yeah, slow down a little bit, but we'll catch up. It's okay. Still the fastest growing group.
Go invite other real estate people. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, no.
Actually, Leon says say it. So he wants to know who that person was. Leon, we're not going to say who it was.
Sorry, Leon.
We're going to have to message Angel to find out who that was. But at the end of the day, you felt like joining the program
man, for sure. Yeah.
Was the big deciding factor, and it saved you over $5,000. So
this is it. No, man, like your guys' course is like, I mean, if anybody else is listening, you haven't purchased this course and you're trying to do this for real estate agents, like hands down, man, like it really is the best from A to Z. Like nobody else teaches the lead gen side of it. And hey, maybe you have a course to learn lead gen, you're going to run into the issue of how to either coach or you yourself figure out the conversion side of it. And there's nobody else out there that teaches the conversion side. And that's where I'm at right now, is like implementing that. Like that's what I've learned from your guys' program, is implementing the conversion side, you know. And you guys have all, like, dude, you guys have it all. Like you guys have connections to ISAs. Like, I mean, that's all.
Yeah, you get some sweet deals. There's no doubt. Yeah. Like if you're actually producing when you come in, like the deals alone will make your money back.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, for sure. So it's really is hands down And maybe, I don't know, Grant Wise, I don't know what he does. Like I never bought his
No,
course.
I was just trying to think of who has high ticket programs, and that was
Yeah, Grant Wise is one of them.
my mind.
He definitely probably is one of them. Yeah. And I don't know what he teaches. So it's like,
I don't
know.
know. I haven't been through it,
Yeah.
but yeah, no bad words. I just, like I said, thinking of people in the real estate space that have high ticket programs. That's all I was trying to do.
Nice going, Matt. Nice going.
My bad.
Well, guys, I thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Leon, Super Trooper's been here since the beginning. Thank you for the support. Douglas been here since the beginning. Ahmad's been here since the beginning. Who else? Chris, Thomas, Chuck. Thank you so much, guys, for the support here. Really appreciate it. And oh, yeah, one last quick question here from Leon. Since he's been here watching since the beginning, let's go ahead and answer this. Have you tried any homes list ads with the chatbot, or only put the ref link on the lead form?
Good question.
Yeah, no, homes list. So direct, you can do that. You can do that directly. I've done that before. And I always revert back to like the lead form to ref URL. That's always like my most successful campaign. But if you did want to do the homes list ad to directly, you would want to do that directly to Messenger. So like that's how I've set it up before. And if you're familiar with ManyChat and how it works, you would do that with the JSON campaign, like the JSON growth tool, and run it directly to the homes list.
And you'd probably be delivering, I'm assuming at that point, you're likely either A, going to deliver a homes list.
Yeah.
You
would have to.
Chatbot, or the way I like to do, which is like, hey, get access to the most recent listings available. And at that point, ask them a bunch of questions so that you can customize a homes list for them.
Dude, so we're supposed to end this, but I do want to say something about like that, because I've seen other flows, and I've seen how other people teach messenger bots. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I don't agree, and I've ran through flows myself too to see how they work. And I always hate when they set it up to where, like, before you get whatever it is that you're opting in for, like they are asking you a ton of questions, and it's really, like, for me, it's frustrating. And I know, like, since I've done it so many times and I've generated so many subscribers, like people get frustrated from it, like from trying to, what's your name, what's your email, what's your phone number, and blah, 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 all this other questions before you give them just a homes list. Just give them the homes list ad. Like, just give it to them, and then send a follow-up message. You can still send a follow-up message prior to the 24 hours and try to get them there on the follow-up, not just give it to them. Like, otherwise people are going to get frustrated. Like, I hate when they try to take so much information before you give them the homes list, that would 100% be my strategy. Just give it to them, send a follow-up message.
And that's a good point, right? Like, essentially adding the value before you start requesting some of the more valuable information, right?
Yeah.
So give them the homes list before you start asking for a name and email. Start building relationships and conversations with those leads, right? The same way you would do it as a marketer, right? I mean, you're essentially, either giving them some sort of cheat sheet or, whatever it is. And then at that point, start asking for information.
Yeah, exactly. And in the modules too, I'll if they don't respond, like, I'll implement like a retargeting strategy to get them to re-engage into your messenger bot again, so that you now reset the 24 hours and you can send another follow-up message.
Is that with Facebook retargeting or with ManyChat?
Yeah, Facebook retargeting. Yeah, okay. That's really the only way. Like, at that point, if they don't respond at the 24-hour mark. What's that?
It's the only way if you're following the rules.
Yes.
Matt doesn't follow the rules.
Yeah, I know, right? I follow the rules. I 100%.
Well, you'd have to, right?
I mean, your clients, you have to.
Your clients, yeah,
for clients, you have to, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, if our page gets shut down, we'll create a new one. So.
Yep.
We don't
Yeah.
care.
So I teach the whole like retargeting aspect of it too, to get them to re-engage and then send follow-up again. But yeah,
that's actually really interesting, because of the 24-hour. Can you explain that actually just really quickly? Because Chuck here, who's also been watching since the beginning, so I feel like we should answer his question. How do you handle the new requirements when it comes to responding or engaging with leads? So this is exactly what you're talking about right now, right?
Yeah. So you're limited. You're really just limited to sending one follow-up message, and there's a certain there's now like when you're building out the flow, there's a certain criteria or category that you have to select, and some of them are like like a post purchase or a purchase confirmation or something like that. And then there's another one that real estate falls under, and it's other content or other type or something like that. It's called. It's just basically the other option, and you can send a follow-up message using the other option, but it still has to be prior to the 24 hours. So that's always, you can still do it. But after the 24 hours, if they don't respond, I'm really strict about following the rules, because Facebook will for sure.
So one of the strategies that you're talking about is actually retargeting them,
and
to get back into the chat, get them back so that you can start engaging with them again.
Yep, exactly.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
So then, and again, I show that in the modules, but that's the only other way to do it. If you want to still continue, following up with them within Messenger, is to retarget them on Facebook. And I run that campaign like at $1 a day. Like, it's a simple, just very easy campaign. And I get a ton of people resubscribing or re-engaging with the bot through that flow. So yeah, that's the way I handle it.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. Well, great show. Thanks, Angel.
For sure, man. Thank you guys for having me.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Was this valuable? Did you get something out of this? Should we have Angel on again in a few months? Where he's at? See if people start to know about him inside of the group here. Now that he's going to be teaching part of it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and showing you guys. So yeah, I think that's another thing I'm excited for too, man. Is really like providing some value into the group and showing some Messenger stuff. And like once the the modules are released and all that, like people are going to have questions for sure. So like, showing people new ways or different ways as it all improves or updates and things like that. So I'm excited for that, man.
Love it, man. I love it. We're excited as well. Right, Shane?
Absolutely, for sure. Looking forward to it.
Well, hey, everybody. You got something?
Nope. Go ahead. Close it out.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Whiskey Thursday. We do appreciate you showing up, commenting, engaging, being a part of the show. And Angel, we really appreciate you being here. For anybody who has questions, they're interested in potentially hiring you or whatever, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Best way would just be through my I prefer just sending me a friend request, but I do have my business page.
That's fine. I know, if you send you a Facebook friend request, that's cool. Guys, if you have questions for Angel or your agent looking at potentially hiring somebody to do chatbots for you, reach out to Angel. Go ahead and just message him on Facebook. Send him a friend request and message him so you can make sure he sees that.
Make sure that I see it. Yeah.
Also, again, thank you so much for being on. And for anybody who's interested in the program, just message Shane or myself. Go ahead and do that, and we'll be able to get you in there. I know. I was like, we don't have a little link. What's that?
Messenger's fine.
Messenger's fine. Just give us the message. We don't really have any links.
Just throw it up in the group. What's the link?
Right? But anyways, again, thank you so much for everybody who showed up and everybody who supports the show, and Angel and myself and Shane. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Next week we have an amazing show. I should have had that pulled up. Doggone it.
No, you don't remember, right? Esteban
is next week, but the rest of it, that's what I'm looking for.
We got Wes, that's going to come up, and then Luke.
And Luke, that's what it was. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, again, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Take care. We're ending at some point here.
There you go. It's good.